Hello, YouTubers. Joe Kersey here on. Uh, I'll just take these off. The reflection just gets too distracting. On March 1st, 2019, at 2020 in the evening Eastern Time, uh, I talked with my friend in Tucson. Uh, this afternoon around after 3 o'clock, 3:30 in the afternoon, and we got into a discussion about how they handle daylight savings time out there in Tucson and this, that, and the other. He says the way to think about it is they always stay on Mountain Standard Time. Ah, well, that's easy. But see, I'd always been confused by when we'd talk about it, he would say, "Oh, you are so many hours this way or so many hours that way," and then I would start talking in the same vein, and so I completely misunderstood. That essentially all I have to do is think of at any time of year what would Mountain Standard Time be. And then, of course, he went on to point out that sometimes various parts of the Pacific Coast do weird. Well, it's the Pacific Coast. What the hell do you expect? These folks are. No, I'm not going to upgrade to Mac OS Mojave, and I gotta don't stick that up in front of me. And so then they always make me open applications and I have to turn it off. I really dislike that, Apple. Apple, shame on you. Don't do that to me. If I want to install your new operating system, I would have done it a long time ago, okay? I'm running Mac 10.12.6 and I'm very happy with it, so leave me alone. I don't care if you don't support certain programs now, okay? I don't want my computer to be my phone, nor my phone to be my computer. I know. I'm an old dude. All right. I'm having some tea with somehow, shall we say, additional elements in it. It's not some high. Well, actually, it's this rose tea, which. It's not high-end, but it's pretty good tasting tea. I can tell you the additional element is particularly high-end, but it gets the job done. It doesn't mess you up too much. Well, it doesn't mess you up at all if you don't sit there and slug it down. That's like anything. Now, where have we gone? So, my friend and I from Tucson got talking about, he had gotten some new property tax information out there for his new house. I don't know how often states redo tax valuation on their properties or not. Now in Ohio they do it the big one they do every 6 years. Sometimes they send people out to roam around your place, take pictures, The really pushy ones want to try to go in and take pictures inside. Well, screw that. That's like a no-no. You ain't coming in my house. Every 3 years, and they'll come out. Those kind of wander around. Sometimes just stand on the road and take pictures. They always get it wrong. They say I've got 300 more square feet in my house than I do. Well, they're getting away with it. I suppose I ought to, go through the process of going up and pissing and moaning and groaning and so forth. But it's just why, come on. But when I first moved up here, deck area was not counted as square footage of the house. Maybe it is now. Maybe they changed the rules. Oh, I'm sorry. Rules, common sense. Rules, common sense. Ooh, how confusing. Oh, it's the government, so it's not confusing at all. Choose the path that screws the person most. Oh, okay, there we go. That's the right decision. So we talked about some medical issues. That's okay. Nothing more to say there. Largely having to do with getting prescriptions filled. Not anything I wrote for him, but it's just these computerized prescription stuff. It's like this all computer. You have to have a computerized this, and physicians are probably the last group of professional people that use fax machines, which is like a complete enigma to me. Come on, just email. Just copy an email and send it in. Copy an email. It's like, why? But I am a simple country anesthesiologist who no longer has to ply my craft in the sturm and drang of medical politics at Grant Medical Center in Columbus, Ohio. Oh, I was reminiscing about how the CEO or the president or the head of the medical, non-medical joint there at Grant several years back. I think his name was Don Ayers. I can say this without libel or slander. He left Grant and he started his, I don't know, he either joined or started some sort of outfit that, I think it was called Cardinal Health, but I won't swear to that, so don't hold me to that one. But the feds got this guy for money laundering, and it's almost like a giant Ponzi scheme. It was like a prepaid organization Ponzi scheme thing. And he and two other guys, I think were sent to federal prison for 20 years. Couldn't have happened to a nicer guy. This guy had come down to the surgeon's lounge because he liked to slum it from time to time. And he had his silk shoes, silk shirts, Italian ties made in the shoes. Obviously I'm conflating things there. But you know the type, and he'd sit down and want to shoot the breeze with the surgeons in there. Well, you had some of the bigger bullshitters that wanted to maybe think about hearing about a sweet deal with this guy would come in and sit down, and it was like the bullshit just flowed. This one surgeon that hated my guts and called me a faggot and this, and made open fun of me about being gay. He'd sit right next to the guy and was smoozing up to him. And then one of the guys in the anesthesia, I won't call it a group because we weren't a group, we were all individual practitioners. This guy'd come in with these big vacuum attachment on his mouth, to stick up this guy's behind. Try to either suck out or convince him to cut a sweet deal. Well, they had plenty of these three guys that were together had plenty of sweet deals with the hospital. This is one of the guys I always said, you better hope I never get a fatal disease. What a fucking waste product. Well, both of them, the whole crowd of them. I felt tainted by sitting in the room, but I didn't have a case to do, so I thought I can't miss this. So I just sat in there and listened. Yeah. On the other hand, now I think in general, the Ohio Health outfits cleaned up its act a lot. Well, and this was really because before Ohio Health was Ohio Health, so where all these hospitals started buying each other up. So. I don't have any problem with it. Hell, I had my hernia done under the Ohio health system. So. Still, one can't help but testify to what one witnessed. I don't know if that sleazeball Michael Cohen was saying that kind of stuff to the House Intelligence Committee the other day or not. You know, it was interesting one of the first things when I worked for these attorneys when I was in high school as a researcher and so forth, and the occasional go out and repo a car. These guys said to me, you know, the one thing you can never do, you know, you're going to hear and see a lot of stuff in this office that you can never say anything about as long as the people involved are alive. I said, okay. That's right. You know, and I'll tell you, I heard a lot of stuff when I was practicing medicine that absolutely totally confidential. And I, to this day, can't tell you what they were, even if I wanted to, and I don't, obviously. But my mind developed an ability to completely just forget any of this stuff. So if somebody had said to me, "Oh, you were there and you heard so and so," I'd have to honestly say I don't remember, because I don't remember. And it's the same thing with a lot of these sort of intrafamilial things I heard when I was practicing medicine. I mean, I just don't remember. I know I heard them. I couldn't tell you the details. I didn't want to remember them. I just like, my mind just turns off that ability to remember that kind of stuff, which is a nice little gift for somebody in that line of work. So I texted my son, and he says he and Carter are out. There's some sort of pizza thing for Carter's basketball team tonight, which is neat. And and Kelly, God bless Kelly, my sweet Dill, is off over at in the Dayton area. Excuse me, babysitting her. At least two of her nieces and nephews. I don't know, it was Pepper and Dash, or Pepper and Nash, or Pepper and Salt, or whatever. The twins. Apparently, so her sister and husband will be off somewhere with the other kid, the older kid, oldest child. Well, it's nice of her to do that. It's also nice of her not to bring those folks back over to Columbia. Oh, did that just slip out? I guess it did. I don't know. I've never met these two kids. Maybe they're delightful children. Maybe you want to have them on an airline flight sitting right behind your seat. Maybe their feet would never touch the back of your chair. I just get launched. What's true? I speak the truth in peace and love. I do. I know I make it sound sarcastic, but I really speak the truth in peace and love. Meanwhile, I had to do, the one thing I had to do today, I did, because I'm a pro and I do what I have to do what I have to do. I sent out the prayer list, for this month, which is, it was essentially the exact same prayer list as it was last month. It was a true copy and paste job. The first time that's happened in 7 years since I've been doing this. And, but I did stick my name on one of the the people that have ongoing problems. And it's true. I mean, I do. Uh, I had a discussion with the woman that used to run this prayer list last night. She called me. Uh, she's getting a little demented, just not badly, but just a little bit. And she asked me the same question she asked me the night before she called me last night. And I answered it again. And she's always fun to talk with. Because she gives me a lot of information that she doesn't realize she's giving me. I call her one of my spies, one of my intelligence agents. But if you were to say that to her, she wouldn't know what you were. Well, she might, but she'd take it in the wrong way. I don't mean it the wrong way. I mean that as a very complimentary way. Okay. I don't know if my good neighbor Liz, it's always my good neighbor Liz, has gotten back home yet, or Henry has gotten back home yet from. Well, I keep thinking this is like the weekend. This is still just Friday night early. Liz coming back from the Caribbean. I don't know. Maybe she was on that boat that left those. The boat didn't leave those people behind. The people left the boat behind that were trying to catch it. Couldn't get their dead asses back up to the gangplanks in time, If that's the case, I'll be looking forward to hearing that story. And of course, Henry can sometimes tell me a fair amount of stuff about election stuff, and sometimes he can't. Okay, it's fun. It's fun. And like a moth to the flame, and I can't help myself here, guys. You have St. Peter's Episcopal Church, a family-friendly church. We love our children. Well, that's interesting. It brings up the alternative assertions. A family-unfriendly church, a church that hates our children. What was Terry Hyland thinking of? I think he gave a very, very, very long and very heartfelt, and I think very sincere sermon one day, shortly after all of this gay marriage stuff in England got passed. I'm sorry, same-sex marriage. I suppose now you have to call it whatever gender marriage. In any case, no. He said that he had been one of these guys that did the first, second century reading of the Greek text out of context of the temple prostitution situations and so forth, and had not recognized or had not been willing to acknowledge that Jesus had a lot of things to say about marriage, male-female marriage, and how to behave in it. But he didn't have much else to say about anything else. And of course then they go to the Pauline stuff, and then they go to the 5 or 6 things, and the Old Testament. Leviticus has like 3, and Deuteronomy's got a couple. And it's all just, you got to keep your population of the desert, guys, This isn't the case today. Love God, love your neighbor. love God, love your neighbor, and I'm very much a fairly strict scripturalist, but we have to realize that these documents were written in a time and a place, a desert tribal culture, the Old Testament, and the New Testament, and at least some of the parts of it, when in what was then considered a sect trying to survive. And so, I don't know. Paul said some fairly radical, coercive, subversive things about the Greek god or the Roman god temple worship. Roman prostitution, male prostitution in the temple. For that matter, female prostitution in the temple. So there's a lot of just flat out ignorance involved in this. Wait a minute. How did I get on this? I was merely making a remark about whatever I started into this, making a remark about. So I think on that note, I'm going to say bye-bye, YouTubers. Let's see. Now I got to read on Sunday, which I shall, by the grace of God. And, yeah. All right. Bye-bye.